Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum, everyone. I'm your host, Liam, aka Himbar, and today I'll be doing my weekly update. This is Liam's Leapings number 66 for the 9th of December, 2023. My hair looks a little wild, but just have a quick update for you again. They've been short because I'm tired. This is my third day of work today. Have another one tomorrow. This week, I did finish 3 more books. I did not finish Twilight of the Gods, but I'm still getting through that one. I'm hoping to finish it hopefully on Sunday, maybe Monday, because I'm actually talking with Scott Oden, who is the author, um, on Tuesday, and I want to have Twilight of the Gods finished so I can start the Doom of Odin. I wish I could have that finished too. I just don't have the time. I'm still also reading EverQuest's Rogue's Hour. I read a chapter on Monday, a chapter on Tuesday, but then I've worked since then. I didn't read any on Sunday, so I mean I'm getting there. I'm enjoying it too. It's just slow going. I did start Blood in the Mist by Hope Murales or something. I'm not quite sure. I did get a couple books as well. I got my copies of New Edge Sword and Sorceries, issue one, sorry, and two. One has the Marcock story in it for those interested. They're out now, I think, or maybe I just got them. I think they're out. I mean, I got them early to review, but I had purchased them from the Kickstarter as well. So they're very exciting. I got this bookmark. That's what this is too. So I need to put with them all. I need to put them with all my other magazines. The books I finished this week, I only have one, so physically, I should say. Finished Alien Flesh by Seabury Quinn. I had the dust jacket off with other videos because it's risque. But this is the cover is like the most explicit thing about this book. It's advertised as an explicit book, and I don't like erotica, but like I thought it was an interesting premise, and it was a decent story. It was a little long, probably. I imagine the short story is probably decently satisfying for the most part. That this is expanded upon. I guess it's probably considered explicit for I'm not sure actually when he expanded upon it, but the short stories from the 30s. So I could see this not being published in the 30s, but in the late 70s when it was published, it's pretty tame. And by today's standards, it's pretty tame. But it was enjoyable still. I'll have more thoughts when I do a review for that months from now. I did also finish The Killing Machine by Jack Vance. All of these books are all of the Demon Prince's books from The Killing Machine's book 2 and The Demon Prince's by Jack Vance are free right now with an Audible subscription. If you're in the US, at least. I don't know about anywhere else, but so hopefully I'll get to book 3 soon, and then books 4 and 5. 3, 4, and 5 are bigger than the first two, though. So, and again, I have no time, so small books always look good to me. I like small books. That's half the reason I don't even read as much epic fantasy these days, because I like epic fantasy, but it takes too long. The Rune Lords is a good exception because the Rune Lords keeps it short, and it's very, very epic. But I only have one more Rune Lords book, which I'm hoping I'll read this next week. We'll see. And then also I read The Gap and the Conflict, The Real Story by Stephen R. Donaldson, which is the first in his sci-fi series, The Gap, or The Gap Cycle, whatever you want to call it. It's the first Stephen R. Donaldson novel I've read, which is kind of interesting because I thought I'd get to Lord Falsbane, and I still want to. But it's the same thing, actually, that The Real Story is really short. I've even seen some people call it a novella. I don't think it is. I think it's a novel, but it's a pretty short one. And Lord Falsbane is not. It's not super long, but it's not short. And so I do want to read that. But it was very dark. It was a very dark space opera novel. It was very interesting. There's a nice shifting of roles, as essentially was the point. But it's also like a retelling of Wagner's Rhine Cycle, though I think that becomes more of a case in the rest of the series and not so much in this first one. But yeah, anyways, besides that, I read a short story, Black You by Fritz Leiber. This is an interesting one about some girl who has literally been engaged probably like 10 times, and all of her engagements ended in him dying in an accident. And so it's about a guy who was engaged and broke it off, and so potentially saved himself from dying. Potentially. It kind of hints out that probably not the case, but this girl somehow is connected to the future. For example, she always has fashion like 6 months to a year in advance, kind of like she's wearing the fashions from the future. It's kind of an interesting story. It's creepy, involves witchcraft, kind of very tangentially, but Lyra loves his witchcraft stuff. And then I got a story rejected by DMR. I mentioned it last week that I had written one that night to meet the deadline. I'm pretty proud of the story, though I probably need to reread it, have some other people read it, to see like what's because I probably made some mistakes. But I got just a very simple rejection. Does not fit DMR or whatever like DMR's rejections are. And it's funny that this like it's funny like having I felt really good completing the story, and I always do generally when I complete a story. But then I'm sitting over here with how many completed stories that are not sold anywhere. I have another one coming out next week, so that's exciting. But then, okay, not sold anywhere and not submitted anywhere. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 stories not even submitted anywhere. And that doesn't include all, or it's 13, I guess, since that one just got rejected. So, and then I have 1, 2, that's probably 14 not submitted anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my, submitted somewhere but not received a reply. Some of those have been sent a while ago. Now I could still send some other places, but it's like really, it's kind of depressing. I mean, maybe a little less with those older stories, but I mean, I know those older stories are like not terrible. I mean, I know you have a tendency to think that your first stuff you write is bad. The first stuff I wrote was really just a long time ago, but since I've really gotten into writing a couple years ago and tried to get in Whetstone, as for like about 2 years, um, my one of my stories made it all the way to the final person um, at Savage Realms Monthly, and it was almost published by Whetstone, but it wasn't quite liked enough by enough people. Um, and the story I wrote right after that one, so the second one in my revamped writing journey, did get accepted for publication. My second story, it hasn't been published because that magazine has just been kind of like absent this year. But yeah, so I mean, like maybe they're not that bad. I don't really know, but um, or heck, like I think the third story I wrote it in like 10 minutes and it did get published. I mean, like, it can't be that, right? I don't know. It has to be like just that the stories don't fit whatever those places are, which is a shame because I mostly write sword and sorcery and I get rejected. Some stories have been rejected probably from literally every sword and sorcery venue. So it's like, what do I do with it now? I could post it on Patreon, but is that really that cool of a thing to do? I do have like a good story I feel like is a good Christmas story, but it's not. It's sword and sorcery, but I think it'd be fun for Christmas. But I want it to be in like a Christmas themed sword and sorcery anthology, but I've never seen such a thing, and I guess I just have to make something like that. But I don't know how to do that either. So if someone wants to edit such a thing with me, let me know. But yeah, anyways, that's just my ramblings because again, I write this stuff and was like, well, what do I do with this? Like I wrote that novella. I finished that novella like in May or June, and I haven't done anything with it. I don't know what to do with it. I submitted it, I think, to like 1 or 2 places that look at novellas. They promptly rejected them, of course. Um, and yeah, I just don't know what to do with the novella. I've thought about self-publishing it, but like I've lost the steam because I was hoping to get art for it. The person I wanted to get the art for it just basically it ghosted me. It just sucks at responding. The person sucks at responding, so they haven't done the art. Um, but anyways, this week has not been bad, I guess. One thing I did forget to put in my list, actually, that I also have been reading is King Horn, which is a 13th century Middle English romance. I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm thinking I might make a video on it whenever I finish that, but I'm not quite as... I'm like a third of the way through, maybe. Yeah, just almost a third of the way through. So I'm enjoying it. It's pretty difficult compared to some of the other Middle English romances I've read. It's actually the earliest Middle English romance. So the language is more archaic, but it's fun. I'm enjoying it. It's a good story. It's where Tolkien gets his word Westerness from Lord of the Rings. I was curious. But yeah, King Horn. Oh, and I've been reading The Magician's Nephew, which I've never read before, actually, by C.S. Lewis. I've only stuff I've completed by Lewis before. So like I've read some of his Christian, apologist stuff, but not like front page to back page. But I've read his space trilogy, his cosmic trilogy, and I've reviewed all those on the channel. But his Magician's Nephew, I'm reading that to my girls. It's been really fun. I've been wanting to read books like novels to my girls for a while, and then one day I was at work. I was like, I might as well. Like, why not right now? So I went home and I got the Magician's Nephew off the shelf, and we're gonna read this. They're enjoying it so far. We're in chapter 2. We're not very far, but still, yeah. Hopefully, I can finish. Hopefully, we can finish it. But yeah. Anyways, what have y'all been up to? I'm looking forward to my weekend. Anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum. This may happen eventually, actually, but I had no solid plans right now, actually. So speaking of plans, because this keeps on going longer, but I may move this to recording on Saturday night because I don't have to get to bed so early on Saturday night because I don't work Sunday. And I record these Friday night. I work Saturday, so. But then I would leave Saturday as a no video day, which is fine, and make Sunday a video day instead. And also, I have started reviewing or recording my reviews for the 12 Days of Christmas, I'm calling it. I would normally, Monday is Christmas is on a Monday, and so that's when I would normally have a review anyways. But following that, for the next 11 days, I will have a review. So 12 reviews in a row. I'll still have my normal programming, so to speak. But it also ends conveniently enough, whatever that is, like January 4th or 5th or something like that, is a Friday as well, which is another day I have reviews. So it ends nice and succinctly. Starts on a Monday when I normally have a review and ends on a Friday when I normally have a review. So as of right now, I have 7 of those 12 reviews recorded. They're all fantasy, I think. Oh no, one's historical fiction, but yeah, besides that, they're all fantasy. So, I guess I didn't read sci-fi for a spurt there, but maybe there'll be a sci-fi book and one I haven't recorded. I can't remember. Anyways, now I'm finally going. Bye.